We're going to continue with mole worksheet number 1, but this will now be a conversion of moles to particles. Now this one's a little bit more interesting than the ones that are earlier in the sheet, in that it says how many atoms of oxygen are in 3.98 moles of manganese oxide. And what we really have here is manganese 4 oxide. So for manganese 4 oxide, let's write down some conversions first. The first conversion, we know, is that 1 mole of a substance, and this was with everything, 1 mole is equal to 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd particles. Whatever those particles may be. In this case, it's formula units. So 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd particles. Now the other conversion we have in this one, I'm not asking for how many formula units of manganese 4 oxide we have. I'm asking for how many oxygens. So you got to ask yourself, for every 1 MnO2, manganese 4 oxide, I get 2, I'm going to write this out so no one thinks it's 20, 2 oxygen atoms. So I have both those equivalents, right? So 1 manganese 4 oxide gives me 2 oxygen atoms. So now that I have my equivalents written down, I can go ahead and do this conversion. Always write down what you know first, or what you're given in the problem. What I'm given in the problem is 3.98 moles. So I'm given 3.98 moles of manganese 4 oxide. Nice, put that over 1, because you're going to work with fractions. You always put what you know over 1 here. So now, I need a conversion. And the first thing I need to do, if you look at your conversions, the only thing that gets it out of moles is right here, moles to particles. So make your fraction. I need to get rid of moles, so I know moles go in the bottom. Well, what goes in the top? Well, use the units. What's on the other side? Which is particles of, in this case, MnO2. So for every 1 mole, I get 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd particles. Now what this would do is this would give me particles of manganese 4 oxide. I really want oxygens for this one. So in this case here, let's go ahead and use the other equivalent now. And I really want to get rid of, this gets rid of the moles. I really want to get rid of the manganese 4 oxide. So for every 1 MnO2, I get out 2 oxygen atoms. So that takes care of the MnO2. And now all we have to do is multiply. You notice I just have 1s in the bottom. So that's just 1. Then I take 3.98 times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd times 2. And I multiply that together, I get 4.78 times 10 to the 24th oxygen atoms. And that's the answer. Now typically when you're just going moles to particles, you're only going to have this step here, just as a little side note. But in this case, I actually wanted to know how many individual oxygen atoms I needed. That's why I had to add this part right here. If I'm just saying moles to formula units of MnO2, I wouldn't have had this last piece on here. But since I wanted to know how many individual oxygen atoms I had in this reaction, that's why I had to multiply by this factor here in the end.